Rev up your engines!
Mike Spiller says, hey, what's your take on a Chevy Colorado inline 5? Everybody knows I don't like GM products. That said, I still have customers with Chevy Colorados with the inline 5, and they're running strong with 250,000 miles on them. And they use them for their work trucks. They just drive around in them all the time. They're not taking, 15 tons of pipeline here in Texas. They are actually a good engine, and they can be a decent vehicle. Like any GM vehicle, their electronics stink, so you're going to have problems with the electronic air conditioning systems and stuff like that. You're going to have to fix just because it's GM. But the engines and transmissions and those seem relatively solid. I've had customers with them that had pretty good luck with them. So fool people. I'm not always saying everything they make is horrible. Just most of them. Menot Singh says, Scotty, what do you think about the Subaru BRZ? Well, they are fun cars to drive around. If you want to get a zippy little Japanese zoom around car, they can be good cars. They do, like all Subarus, if you push them too hard, those boxer designs, they have a tendency to blow head gaskets. It's a type of vehicle that, if you really like it, either lease it or buy it new. Because if you buy a used one, it's kind of like playing with fire. You might get burnt, and it might be like a stick of dynamite. You lit the fuse when you bought it, and then, a few months later, kaboom, there goes the engine. So if you like the way they drive and ride, either lease one or get a new one. You might have fun with it. If you don't mind spending that kind of money, realize you got to spend a reasonable amount of money to get a decent one. Pepper White 62 says, hey Scotty, advice please. I'm considering a used 3 Series BMW with a manual transmission, reliable or a money pit? Well, it's more reliable than the automatics. There's no arguing that. And they do have extremely low resale value. If you can get one cheap enough and you want something for a weekend toy that you want to, I'm riding around my BMW, you might think about doing that. But do not ever buy one and think you're going to put 20,000 miles a year and use it for an everyday driver. Because if you do, I guarantee you it'll eventually turn into an endless money pit. I got a customer who's a doctor. He got one. Even he got sick of it. And he made a lot of money. He said, I'm just sick of this thing breaking and paying all this to fix it. Even he gave up with the thing. So if it's a toy, go ahead. But everyday driver, nah. Marcus Hank says, I got a limp mode in my Infiniti G37. When you get into a limp mode, that means the computer has found a problem that is going to destroy the catalytic converter or overheat the engine, a serious problem. So it puts the computer system into limp, so you have a limited amount of power to try to save the catalytic converter and the engine, whatever the system has a problem in it. The first thing you have to do is get the vehicle scanned. You get a bunch of codes, and you have to have a mechanic like me analyze those codes and see, okay, is this a serious one? Which code do you fix first if there's multiple codes? And then you reset the codes and drive it a little and see what happens, because a lot of times they go down the line. If you get one code, that'll trip another code, that'll trip another code, that'll trip another code. And it might only be one thing that's tripping the code, so you have to start that. Something somewhat serious is wrong, so have it scanned soon to see what's going on. Jerry Moore says, hey Scotty, I got an 06 Cadillac STS with a Northstar V8. Sounds like a diesel and accelerator. Could it be an exhaust system issue? Well, let's pray that it is. Have it jacked up in the air, have somebody rev it while you're crawling around looking, and do it when it's cold so you can feel with your hands too, and feel if there's exhaust leak. And if it is, great, fix it. Because if it isn't the exhaust leak and it sounds like a diesel, it's making a lot of noise, that means your engine's going out, and those Northstar engines are endless money pits. I mean, even something as simple, not simple anymore, but as a head gasket job on those Northstar racing design engines, it can cost you $4 or $5 grand to do a head gasket job in those things. So you want to pray it's just an exhaust leak and not internal engine problems. Las Vegas dirt bikers say, Scotty, I have a 2006 Scion TC and sometimes it grinds in third gear. Is it a serious problem? When cars only grind in one gear, that generally means that the synchro mesh in that gear is starting to wear out. So what you can do is baby third gear. Don't rev it up really high in second gear and then rip it into third gear. Shift a little bit earlier and take your time shifting it to third gear. Now, if it does it once in a while, just baby it. And if you're not a race car guy, you can go from second and go high RPMs in second and then just skip third and go from second to fourth. And then you won't even be using it. Because eventually, if you do drive it hard and it keeps making a noise and grinding, eventually third gear would break and then you'd have to rebuild the transmission, because if it's physically broken, pieces fell off in a tranny, that's the end of the transmission. You can baby them though, like I said, and they can last a long time. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.